Hi, Kathy from Kathy's Creations here. Today we're going to do a couple of ornaments. They're going to be really simple and fast so that you can whip them out to put them on your Christmas tree. So we'll start with these supplies. The supplies are going to be your regular scissors, your pair of pinking shears. We're going to use embroidery floss to put at the top so that you can hang it from your tree. You're going to need your patterns cut out. I just cut these out of regular typing paper. I didn't use a pattern or anything, but if you have a pattern and you want to use it, you feel more comfortable, that's fine. And then your fabric, whatever you want to use, I use two different kind of fabrics. So I've already gone ahead and cut them out. I have one each of the candy cane and I just did one of the ball. So let's go over to the sewing machine and we'll begin. When I sat down over here at the sewing machine, I forgot to mention two things. One, we're going to be putting silky soft stuffing in our candy cane and our little circle ornament. The other thing that I forgot to mention was that the length of the embroidery floss that we're going to cut. The way that I figure it is, when you buy embroidery floss, it normally comes like this. It'll have two little things wrapped around it. You just take those off. They are the two little things are the number for the code of this floss, so that if you wanted to buy more of it for a project. Anyway, so what I do is I find the end, and then I'll take one, and this is the length of this, 2 and 3. Oops, here we go, 3. And then I'll cut that off, and that's the size that I'm going to use. If it's too long, you just turn around and you make it a little smaller. And I normally take like that, and then this part here, which has got the two little ends and the loop, will be sewn onto the ornament. Now for the sewing part. I have pinned, I guess we could turn it this way for you. I pinned my little project, and I'm going to sew starting at the bottom, because I'm leaving the bottom open to put the stuffing in. And I'm going to leave and keep in mind you want to leave a little bit extra than the 1/4 inch. So what I'm doing is I am lining up my fabric just right on the edge of my foot, because we're going to want to use the pinking shears later. And you don't want to be cutting into your seam that you did. So go ahead and lock your seam at the end. Remember, you don't want to sew over the top of your pins, so go ahead and sew all the way around the entire project, and I'll be right back. Now that the entire thing is finished being sewn, we're going to put our stuffing in here. Now this is going to be time consuming a little bit. Let me get me a handful of this stuff here. Let's see if I can get it in there. I might have to have some help. Oh yeah, I'm going to need some help because, oops, I was going to say, can you see how little bitty that is? I need to get another tool. So hold on one second. Alright, so this is what happened off camera. The hole is too small for me to be stuffing in it, so what I've done is I opened up the side over here, which is a bigger space, excuse me, to get my chopstick in, which I'm going to use to do my stuffing, because I narrowed it down here at the bottom so it wasn't big enough. So I went ahead and I just sewed this bottom closed, and let's see if I can stuff this now. We'll get it started here. And we'll just stuff on both ends is what we'll do. We'll do the top up here, and then I'll use this chopstick, which will help shove it up around that corner. We'll just put a little bit more. Let's see. I can do that. There we go. That seems to be working. See that? All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish that off camera. I'll be right back. Now that it's finished being stuffed, we're going to sew it by hand. And this will be really simple because your stitches don't need to be that small. I'm using red thread because that's what I sewed it with. So go ahead and put your thread on your needle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the knot on the inside. So right here where you got your seam split, that's where I'm going to put my pin. so then the knot will be on the inside and you won't see it. Hopefully. There we go. And then all you got to do is just go in and out and just go on both sides so that you're making sure you're not getting your stuffing. And I'm going to make a pretty big stitch so that you can see it, and then I'll go back onto that stitch, flip it on the other side. And I'm holding my pins. I've stuck them in enough that I'm holding them down so they're not sticking me. And see, it's just a running stitch is all that is. Go back on the back side again. Actually, I can take this pin out because it's kind of puckering there. You can make smaller stitches if you want, but I think this is fine. I'm going right up the seam. It's not like the stuffing is going to fall out. There we go. Take another one out. And I'm putting it right next to the left-hand side of the thread that I just did. And it sort of like hides it. It looks just like they're one after the other. And this is so simple, I don't even need a bobbin. And then I'm just going to loop it a couple times because I really don't have enough thread. Well, I do have enough thread. I can make a knot right here. There we go. And go down as if I was sewing it. Didn't come out the back. I'm going right up the front. I'm going to pull it out here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip it real close. Just pull it real, real tight. And just kind of like snip. And there, your thread is lost inside there. Now that we hand sewed the opening closed, we're going to take the pinking shears, go all the way around it. That's the next thing to do. You can leave as much as you want on it. Once that's completed, you can use embroidery needles to sew the little piece on that's going to help it hang from the tree. I went ahead and I used a size 5/10. If you need a bigger eye, you can always go to a size 1/5. Once you thread this, and it's one strain which has 6 pieces of thread on it, go ahead and loop it through here, and I'm going to go ahead and put a knot on it, just a regular knot, and then you put it at the top of your ornament. And it's okay if it shows. Just go inside here, out the other side, and then to make it really look official, what you could do is put your knot on this side and you'll have 2 knots. Determine how long you want it. That's probably good because the tree branch is about that big, and then it'll be enough that it'll dangle. And then just tie that off, and that's it. So I hope you have enjoyed making this ornament as well as I have, and I hope you make a whole bunch for your Christmas tree. Take care. Bye-bye.